Hi, welcome to the first episode of Policy Project Podcast. I'm your host, Navya Kilaru, and today I am joined by three special guests, Ashley, Anielle, and Michelle, to discuss our research topic, the ability of the federal government to strengthen the resources of colleges and universities and provide financial aid to students.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Higher education in America retains an implicit trust and faith in our culture, and it is the support of knowledge and learning. It is the gateway to good jobs and a prosperous life for many Americans. However, the rising cost of higher education is a major setback for many lower middle-class citizens, and our group believes the federal government should play a role in the proposition and execution of a financially feasible solution. As the cost of higher education continues to grow, it makes it increasingly harder for underprivileged students to attend college. Moreover, the students that do attend college often leave with high amounts of student loans that take years to pay off. Many students are also having to choose colleges with less academic prestige in order to be able to afford tuition. These problems affect students by decreasing the opportunities for higher education, which means that less individuals have an opportunity to escape their social status and could possibly perpetuate the cycle of poverty.
Okay, so now that we have a basic understanding of the issue, Ashley, what are the recent actions taken by each branch of government regarding the cost of higher education?
The legislative branch has taken several steps to address the cost of higher education. In April 2017, Congress amended the Higher Education Act of 1965. The bill helped eliminate tuition for students at community colleges and working students at four-year public institutions. Congress allowed students to modify their interest rates on their federal student loans to current rates. It also stated that any excess funds in the Department of Education was to be used to fund the federal Pell Grant program. These grants are need-based grants for students entering college. While this bill may not directly decrease the cost of higher education, it makes college more affordable for those that cannot pay the higher costs. Lastly, our president has announced plans that would affect the issue. Donald Trump has outlined an intent to cut tuition and signaled the possibility of an income-based repayment system. He also argued that increased accountability for post-secondary institutions to control costs, including ending tax-exempt status for public and private universities.
Great, but what about the political party platforms? What are their positions on this issue?
The Democratic Party is for a debt-free secondary education to alleviate student debt. The Democrats' liberal stance of wanting to protect individual rights and appealing to improve the lives of lower-income citizens go hand in hand with their stance on improving the cost of secondary education, where they believe that the government should use their power to improve the lives of the people, and in this case, students. Republicans believe that the federal government should have a very limited role in higher education. Many of the Republican Party believe that we should completely do away with federal loans and only have private loans. This is because the student debt is rising uncontrollably, and they believe federal student loans play a large role in this. This stance relates to their conservative views because conservatives strongly believe in less federal government. The Libertarian Third Party group believes in eliminating student debt by tackling federal student loans. The Libertarian Party merges the beliefs of both the Republican and Democratic parties, where the party is fiscally conservative, just as the Republican are, and want to maintain or decrease budget spending, hence why the solution presented to solving student debt have been, for the most part, more towards balancing the programs of the Department of Education, instead of spending more money and giving people more grants. However, the Libertarian Party, like its name, does promote individual liberty and improve the lives of citizens, as you can see from the active efforts to lower the cost of secondary education.
All right, I have another question. What is the public's opinion on the issue of higher education costs?
The data gathered from one survey shows that many Americans support higher education because they believe that it will help many students obtain the jobs they need to be successful in today's economy. Most Americans also believe that higher education institutions have a responsibility to ensure that most students who enroll graduate. More than 2/3 of the people surveyed said the federal government should provide basic guardrails to ensure that students are encouraged to take out loans to attend predatory institutions that will leave them worse off than when they first enrolled. This shows the high concern of Americans about the rising cost of higher education. Another poll surveyed different age groups to draw conclusions on the public opinion of higher education. These results showed that 59% of Americans from 18 to 35 years old believe that four-year colleges are worth the cost. The survey also found that most millennials and G citizens are also in support of higher education institutions. These polls show that most people are in favor of higher education institutions, but the first one displayed results that clearly indicated Americans want more federal measures to decrease the cost of higher education and improve the benefits received.
All right, Time is running out for today's session, but before we go, my final question is, what is the proposed solution for this issue?
First, we need to regulate student loan organizations. In many cases, students don't have any choice on which company or school they take loans from. Therefore, many students are getting thrown under the bus into unfair deals. These loans have high interest and lack common rights of other loans, such as bankruptcy rights and fair debt collection laws. The government should regulate these student loans and inform the loaners to ensure they are getting fair loans that would not leave them worse off. Government should also increase, rather than cut, funding for state schools. One of the main causes of the rising student debt is the rising cost of college tuition that is outpacing the rate of inflation by far. This increasing state funding to schools, the cost of college can be subsidized for lower income families and students. This would help the root of the problem.
Thanks for tuning in to Policy Project Podcast. See you next time.